Before roads existed, movement across land was slow, uncertain, and difficult to control. Wheels pressed into soft ground, often sinking as the surface shifted under pressure. Transporting goods required effort, patience, and constant adjustment with every step forward. Rain could suddenly transform dry paths into unstable terrain that was hard to cross. What once felt solid could quickly become unreliable, forcing people to slow down or stop. People adapted to these conditions, but the challenges of movement never truly disappeared. Every journey depended heavily on the state of the ground beneath their feet. Over time, repeated travel began forming visible pathways across the landscape. Foot traffic slowly shaped the surface, pressing it into rough but usable routes. The more people passed through, the clearer and more defined these paths became. Paths gradually widened as more people and goods moved across the same direction. Small improvements made travel slightly easier, but the surface was still unpredictable. Obstacles were slowly cleared from commonly used routes to improve movement. Edges of the path became more visible through repeated and consistent use. Movement improved over time, but the ground remained far from fully reliable. This marked the early stage of intentional road creation and human development. People began clearing land to create better and more controlled movement paths. Loose debris was removed, revealing a more stable and even surface underneath. The ground was carefully prepared before any structured building could begin. Uneven areas were leveled to form a more consistent and stable foundation. Leveling continued as remaining rough areas were gradually reduced across the surface. The ground became flatter and more consistent, improving its ability to support movement. Soil compaction began, pressing the surface tightly to reduce shifting under weight. Repeated pressure made the ground stronger and more resistant to damage. A firm base was now created, ready to support additional layers above it. Leveling continued as remaining rough areas were gradually reduced across the surface. The ground became flatter and more consistent, improving its ability to support movement. Soil compaction began, pressing the surface tightly to reduce shifting under weight. Repeated pressure made the ground stronger and more resistant to damage. A firm base was now created, ready to support additional layers above it. With the foundation prepared, structured road building could now begin properly. Mud bricks were introduced and placed carefully across the reinforced base layer. Each row aligned gradually, forming a more organized and stable surface. The road expanded outward as more bricks were added in a consistent pattern. Coverage increased until most of the exposed ground was fully protected. The surface now appeared clearly defined, transforming from soil into structured pathway. Bitumen was applied between bricks, acting as a natural bonding material. This sealed the structure, reducing movement between individual components. the road became more unified, resistant, and capable of handling repeated use. A fully functional road had finally emerged from what was once uneven terrain. Over time, signs of wear began appearing across the surface of the road. Small cracks formed as pressure and usage slowly affected the structure. Bricks shifted slightly under repeated movement from carts and people. Edges weakened gradually as exposure to weather and use increased. Maintenance became necessary to keep the road functional and reliable. Damaged sections were carefully removed and replaced with new materials. Repairs restored strength, allowing the road to continue serving its purpose. Although imperfections remained, the structure still supported daily movement. Roads began expanding beyond single settlements into wider, connected routes. Longer paths formed, linking distant regions through shared infrastructure. Pathways became organized systems, designed for clearer and more direct travel. Movement improved as routes became more structured and predictable. Large networks started emerging, connecting multiple areas across vast distances. Roads stretched across landscapes, guiding movement with increasing efficiency. Better design reduced effort, making transportation faster and more reliable. Engineering methods evolved, introducing more advanced construction techniques. Roads were built using layered systems designed to handle pressure and weight. Stone surfaces added durability, creating stronger and longer-lasting structures. These roads were designed with intention, not just for use, but for endurance. Some of these ancient roads have survived, remaining visible even today. Over time, road construction methods changed dramatically with new technology. Machines replaced manual labor, reshaping land faster and more efficiently than before. Large areas could now be cleared and prepared within a much shorter time. Ground stabilization became more precise, using advanced tools and techniques. Base materials were distributed evenly, forming strong foundations across wide surfaces. Layers were built across the entire road width with consistency and control. Each stage of preparation ensured a smoother and more reliable final surface. Asphalt was applied, creating a continuous and uniform layer across the road. The surface became smooth, allowing movement with less resistance and greater speed. Heavy rollers compressed everything, strengthening the road into a solid structure. The final surface was durable, designed to handle constant use over long periods. Clear markings were added to guide movement and improve overall safety. Vehicles quickly filled these roads, taking advantage of their improved efficiency. Movement became faster than ever, reducing time between distant locations. Entire networks supported continuous activity across cities and regions. Even at night, roads remained active, with movement continuing without interruption. Day turned into night, but the flow of travel never truly stopped. Modern roads became essential, supporting everyday life on a massive scale. Looking back, the transformation from past to present becomes clear, from unstable ground to fully engineered highway systems. Despite all these changes, the core idea has remained the same. Strengthen the ground and control the conditions around it, and that process continues to evolve, even today. Everything shown here is based on real historical findings and archaeological research. Early roads in Mesopotamia, including cities like Ur, revealed structured surfaces using bricks and bitumen. These discoveries come from documented excavations and studies of ancient urban development. The same principles, layering, compaction, and drainage, are still used in modern road construction. This video recreates that process step by step, using those real-world foundations. What began thousands of years ago continues to shape how we move today. The methods have evolved, but the foundation remains the same.